Look, I know it hurts. It hurts. I know the pain. When you find out that someone has been betraying you for years and it was under your nose, you had no idea.
Subject: My ex wife had a 7-year affair. Part 1: Hemp's story. Hey man, first off, I want to say thank you. I didn't even know channels like yours existed until a week ago. I was deep in some forum thread. Can't remember if it was Reddit or one of those private divorce support groups when someone mentioned your YouTube channel. Said it helped them make peace with the betrayal they experienced. I was skeptical, but I clicked the link anyway, and it led me straight to your True Story playlist. Let me tell you, I must have sat there for 3 hours just glued to the screen. Story after story of men sharing the exact kind of pain I thought only I understood. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel so damn alone. So yeah, I'm writing in. I go by Hemp. Not my real name, but it's what my friends call me. This right here is my story, or at least the beginning of it, because there's no way I can fit all of this into one email. I'm still processing it, still finding pieces of myself scattered in the aftermath of that marriage. Let's start with the basics. I was married for 7 years. 7 years, man. In every one of those years, my wife was cheating on me. Not just some one time thing, not some mistake she drunkenly made at a work party. Nah, this was a full blown long term affair with a man she knew before she ever met me. Let that sink in. She looked me in the face every day for years while giving herself to someone else behind my back. She was with him before me, and clearly she never let him go. Not emotionally, not physically. Just kept the whole thing alive while building a life with me, or at least pretending to. She even hid and terminated a pregnancy that wasn't mine. Yeah, that's the kind of betrayal we're talking about here. But let me take it back to where it all began, because I think the beginning matters. The start always feels innocent, doesn't it? Like it was meant to be something good, and I met her in 2012. It was during the London Summer Olympics. There was this all-day Olympic viewing event happening downtown. Big screens outside, food trucks, music, beer gardens, the whole thing. It was a Saturday, I remember that, and I was there with a few friends from work. We just watched Usain Bolt smoke the competition, and the whole place was hyped up. She was standing in line for tacos, wearing this red tank top and jean shorts, curly hair tied back in a puff. I made some joke about how she didn't even like track and field. I could just tell by the bored look on her face, and she laughed. Just like that, we started talking. Her name was Jay. That's what I'll call her here. We talked the whole rest of the event, didn't even bother going back to our friend groups. We found a patch of grass, sat down, and just vibed for hours. It felt easy. She was sharp, funny, into photography and art, said she worked at a gallery part-time. I told her I was in IT, which usually kills the conversation, but she just nodded and said she respected tech dudes who can fix her Wi-Fi. We exchanged numbers, and by Tuesday, we were on our first date. The relationship moved fast, faster than it should have, honestly. I can admit that now. We were together nonstop, always at each other's apartments, always talking. The chemistry was wild. Looking back, it was that kind of intense, addictive energy that burns too hot to last. But I didn't see it then. All I saw was someone I was falling for. 6 months in, she told me she was pregnant. I was shocked, yeah, but I stepped up. I wasn't raised to run from responsibility, especially not when a child's involved. I asked her if she wanted to keep it, and she said yes. So we got married. Small courthouse wedding. No big party, just a couple of witnesses and lunch afterward. Here's the thing, though, and I've never told anyone this, I got a paternity test. She didn't know. I had to do it behind her back. I'd already signed the birth certificate by the time the results came in, but something in my gut told me to be sure. I wanted to trust her, but I'd also heard stories, and my guts never lied to me. Turns out, the baby was mine. 99%. That gave me a weird peace. I figured we were starting off rocky, but at least the foundation was real. I thought we could build from there. The first few years were okay. Not great, not horrible, just okay. We had some struggles, mostly around money, parenting, and intimacy, but I chalked it up to growing pains. Everyone tells you marriage is hard, and I believed we just needed to ride it out. But year 3, that's when things started to feel off. There was one night, I'll never forget it, where she didn't come home. She told me she was going out with her cousin to celebrate her birthday. Cool, no problem. I stayed home with the baby, did the bedtime routine, knocked out early. I woke up at 6 a.m., and she still wasn't home. I called her, no answer, texted her, nothing. She didn't show up until 8 a.m., wearing the same outfit, and claimed her phone died. Said she slept on her cousin's couch. Didn't apologize. Acted like I was overreacting for being upset. Gaslit me, really. Then came year 4, the year of accusations. Every other week she'd say I was cheating. I come home from work late, I was cheating. Miss a call while in a meeting? Cheating. Random text from a coworker? Cheating. I wasn't, by the way. I never cheated on her. Not once. But she was relentless with the accusations, to the point where I started wondering if she was projecting. Year 5 was the year of the girls' trips. 4 of them. 4 separate trips. Miami, Vegas, Tulum, and 1 local trip to wine country. She said she needed a break from the baby. Said I didn't understand how hard motherhood was. Said I got to escape to work every day while she was stuck at home. Now I'm not gonna lie. I did feel guilty. I didn't want to be the kind of man who denied his wife some freedom. So I let her go. Took care of our daughter. Made sure the house was straight. Sent her money for Ubers and food. You know, did the supportive husband thing. But she always came back distant, cold, like she missed something while she was gone and hated being back. I noticed she didn't post pictures from most of the trips. Said she wanted to live in the moment. I bought that excuse too. Year 6, that was the year she told me she wasn't satisfied with our sex life. Said I was boring. Said I wasn't spontaneous enough. That I didn't do it for her anymore. That crushed me. I tried to fix it. I swear I did. I changed my diet, started working out more, watched videos, read articles. I even suggested therapy, but she brushed it off and said, "We're just not compatible like we used to be." At this point, I should have known. All the signs were there, all the late nights, all the trips, all the gaslighting, but I was in denial. I wanted to believe she was just struggling with postpartum issues or going through a phase. I loved her. I was committed. I thought we could still work it out. Then came year 7, the final year, and that's when everything unraveled. I had enough one night. Something just told me to go through her stuff, her phone, her email, her iPad, everything. I don't know if it was divine timing or just desperation, but I felt like if I didn't get answers soon, I was going to lose my mind. And man, what I found, it broke me. She had been messaging this guy nonstop, the same guy. His name kept popping up across years. Emails, texts, DMs, voicemails, the works. I even found photos. They were setting up rendezvous, laughing about the lies they told me, planning trips, reminiscing about moments they shared while I was home playing the role of husband and father. Then I saw it, a message about the clinic, about how he didn't need to know, and this can't mess up what we have. They had scheduled an appointment to terminate a pregnancy, dated for last year. I cross-checked that with one of her girls' trips. Same weekend. She got pregnant by him and got rid of it, all while married to me. I punched a hole in the wall, I'll admit that. I screamed into a pillow like a man possessed. I wanted to crash out on everyone. Her, him. Everyone who ever looked me in the eye and pretended to care while stabbing me in the back. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I was going to pass out. My vision was blurry. My whole body felt like it was vibrating with rage and humiliation. This woman, the mother of my child, my wife, the person I gave my name to, had been living a double life. She built a house with me, slept in my bed, kissed our daughter goodnight, all while being in love with someone else. I'll stop here for now. This is just part one. I haven't even gotten into how I confronted her, the look on her face, the fake tears, the way she tried to flip everything on me, the lies she told during the divorce, the smear campaign, all of it. But I'll save that for the next email. Thanks for reading, man, and thank you for giving guys like me a place to speak our truth. Hemp continuation. When I tell you I sat in my garage that night, just staring at the wall in the dark, I mean it. No music, no phone, just silence and fury. I had the text thread on my phone screen, lit up like it was mocking me. Her words to him. God, man, you never forget stuff like that. I wish this baby was yours. It never felt right being pregnant by him. I think I did it just to trap him. That one line stuck to me like tar. I couldn't wash it off. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I thought about everything. Our wedding, the day we signed the mortgage papers, our anniversary trips, the nights I held her while she cried because she didn't know what was wrong with her. I thought I was being a good husband. Maybe not perfect, but damn sure loyal and present. I didn't deserve that. And let me say this, brother, there were signs. There always are. It's just that when you love someone, you dismiss them. You give the benefit of the doubt. You believe in them more than they deserve. There was the year she came home at 7 a.m., claiming her phone died, and she slept at her friend Keisha's house after a girls' night out. I remember being up all night, pacing like a madman. I called and texted her dozens of times. Nothing. When she walked in, she didn't even look guilty. She just said, "You're overreacting. I'm not a child. I don't need to check in with you every minute." And stupid me, I let it slide. Then the year after that, she suddenly became obsessed with accusing me of cheating. It was nonstop. Every time I worked late, she'd say, "So who is she?" If I got a random text from a coworker, it was, "That better not be someone you're screwing." That's when I learned about projection. She was trying to throw me off her trail. The next year, the girls' trip started. 4 of them, Miami, Tulum, New York, and one mystery location. She said was, "Just a small getaway, don't worry about it." I remember begging her to consider taking our son with her on at least one. "I need a break," she said. "You have no idea what it's like being home with the baby all day." I did, actually. I worked from home half the week and took night shifts when she needed rest. I cooked, cleaned, did daycare pickups. But sure, she needed the break. And then, the last straw, her random disgust with our sex life. She went from being affectionate to meh. Anytime I tried to initiate anything physical, she'd recoil like I was asking her to donate a kidney. "I just don't feel sexy anymore," she'd say. "It's not you, it's me." I told myself it was postpartum, then stress, then hormones, but deep down, I think I always knew. Finding those messages was confirmation of everything I'd feared and more. She wasn't just cheating. She was invested in that man emotionally. She confided in him, laughed with him, made plans with him. They joked about me. "He thinks you're at Keisha's again." LOL, yep, he bought it. It was humiliation on another level. I printed out everything. Emails, texts, screenshots from her social media messages, even the Uber receipts where she'd leave home, get dropped off 2 towns over, and I'd still believe she was just having dinner with her friends. I gathered it all and saved it to a flash drive too. Now you might ask, why didn't I confront her right away? Truth is, I didn't trust myself in that moment. I was so angry, I knew I could have done something I'd regret. I needed time to calm down and move strategically. I started separating finances, quietly. I opened a new checking account, rerouted my direct deposit, and called my credit card companies to freeze joint access. I backed up everything on her phone: cloud storage, photos, chats, everything. I also got in touch with a lawyer and scheduled a consult. When I finally did confront her, it was like watching a demon get caught mid-shift. Her eyes widened, she went pale, then she switched gears like she was in a courtroom. This isn't what it looks like. We were just talking. I didn't want to hurt you. All that classic BS. I asked her straight up, "Was that child mine?" Her face twisted. "Of course he was yours." I told her I got a DNA test already. Again, I did it quietly, months after he was born, just for peace of mind. Thank God he is mine. But she didn't know that. The guilt on her face, that was enough for me. Then came the waterworks. I didn't know how to tell you. I was confused. He came back into my life right when things got hard with us. You were always working. I felt alone. I told her that was no excuse, that every couple has hard years, but betrayal is a choice. She made it over and over again for 7 straight years. I served her divorce papers the next week, and man, let me tell you, she switched up so fast you'd think she was auditioning for a telenovela. She went from guilty to vengeful, accused me of emotional neglect, said I was controlling, even hinted to our mutual friends that I might have been abusive. Not once in our marriage did I ever raise a hand to her or speak to her like she wasn't a queen in my home. I bit my tongue so many times it should have fallen off. But now she was in self-preservation mode. She wanted alimony. She wanted the house. She wanted full custody. It turned into a full-blown war. And this is where I'll stop for now, because the divorce, the lies she told the court, the custody game she played, that deserves its own entry. This part of the story was about the discovery, the betrayal, the years I spent sleeping next to someone who was living a double life. That was pain I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I found your channel because I was scrolling through Reddit one night, some forum about cheating spouses and men picking up the pieces. Someone posted a link to one of your videos. I clicked on it, and man, I stayed up all night watching. Hearing those other stories made me feel less alone, less crazy. And that's why I'm writing this, not for pity, not for revenge, but because maybe some guy out there will read this or hear it and realize he's not the only one who got blindsided. Part 2 is coming. I'm going to tell you how I handled the court battles, the crazy tactics she pulled, and how I finally got my peace back. But I had to start here, with the truth, because no healing can happen until the lies are laid bare. Thank you for doing what you do. Keep reading these stories. You're helping more men than you probably know. Subject: hemp. Part 2: healing, counseling, and advice for the younger brothers. Hey man, it's Hemp again. Thanks for taking the time to read my first email. I wasn't sure if I'd even hit send on that thing, but after watching more of your videos and seeing the comment sections where men from all over were opening up, I knew I needed to get it out. And now that I've gotten the story of the betrayal off my chest, I want to tell you about what came after. I won't lie. After the divorce papers were signed and the house was no longer filled with the sound of her voice or footsteps, there was a moment of peace, but also a heavy silence, a silence that felt like a fog. I thought once she was gone, I'd feel liberated, and in some ways I did. But the truth is, betrayal doesn't just cut the skin, it cuts through your soul. And when you've been lied to for 7 years straight by the one person who was supposed to have your back, it messes with your mind in ways you don't expect. So this email, this is about the healing, the climb back up, the long walk through the fire. This is about how I started putting myself back together and why I'm writing this mostly for the younger brothers out there who haven't stepped into this trap yet. Because I wish someone had sat me down and gave it to me straight when I was in my 20s. Let me start with this. I'm getting counseling. Yeah, black man in therapy. Who would have thought, right? Growing up, we didn't do that. Therapy was something rich people or white people did on TV. In my neighborhood, You dealt with your pain by drinking it, fighting it, or pretending it didn't exist. But none of those things worked. Trust me, I tried all three. The first 2 months after the divorce, I drank a lot. Not blackout drunk, but enough to numb the edges. I'd come home, make something to eat, crack open a bottle of whiskey or wine, and stare at the TV for hours without really watching anything. I'd think about every argument, every red flag I ignored, every lie she told that I brushed aside. I blamed her, yeah, but I also blamed myself. One day, my little brother came over. He's 25, 10 years younger than me, and he just looked at me and said, "Big bro, you're disappearing. You ain't been the same since this happened. You got a son. He needs you, not broken." That hit hard, because he was right. My son was watching me shrink into a shell of who I was. So I made the call. Found a local counselor through my job's employee assistance program. First few sessions were awkward. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to look weak. But the therapist, this older black man named Dr. Jordan, he looked me straight in the eye and said, "You're not weak. You're wounded. There's a difference." That changed something in me. Over time, I started opening up. Told him about the years of neglect, the betrayal, the DNA test, the screenshots, the lies. I told him about the way I used to stare at the wall some nights, wondering how the hell I ended up being the fool in my own marriage. He listened. He gave me tools. More than anything, he helped me understand that I wasn't crazy for trusting her. I was just loyal to the wrong one. Now I go every week, and you know what? I'm sleeping better. I'm eating better. I'm showing up better for my son. Therapy didn't fix everything overnight, but it gave me a roadmap, a way forward. Besides counseling, I also went back to some of my old hobbies, the ones I abandoned during the marriage while I was too busy trying to keep the house from falling apart. I've always loved photography. I used to shoot portraits, urban landscapes, even weddings back in the day. I picked up my old DSLR one Saturday, dusted it off, and drove to the city. Took pictures of murals, skylines, people at parks. It was the first time in months I felt like me again. Not Hemp the ex-husband, just Hemp the artist. I also started going to the gym again, not for revenge, not to get a revenge body, but to get strong, for myself. Every drop of sweat felt like I was wringing the pain out of my body. Deadlifts became therapy. Cardio became prayer. There's something about pushing your body to its limits that silences the voices in your head. Another thing, I started journaling. Yeah, I know it sounds soft to some, but writing things out helped me process them. Some entries are angry, some are sad, some are just gratitude for waking up and choosing not to crash out that day. It helps. And now, I want to speak to the young men. If you're under 30, if you haven't been married yet, if you're just getting into serious relationships, listen to me. Don't ignore the red flags. I did. I saw the way she flirted with other men at parties. I heard the way she talked about her ex like he was still some legend. I watched how she deflected accountability and blamed others every time something went wrong. But I chalked it up to, "That's just how women are," or "she'll grow out of it." No, she didn't. She just got better at hiding it. Get a paternity test. I don't care if you've been with her since high school. Get the test quietly, securely, respectfully. It's not about mistrust. It's about certainty. If I hadn't done that, I would have always had doubt in my heart. That paper gave me peace. Don't marry out of obligation. I married her because she was pregnant. I thought it was the right thing to do, but the right thing for the wrong reasons still leads to misery. Make sure the foundation of your marriage is love, respect, and mutual vision, not fear, shame, or social pressure. Keep your friends. During the marriage, I lost touch with most of my boys. I was too busy being a husband and father. She didn't like some of them, said they were bad influences. Truth is, they were just men who saw her for who she was. Don't cut off your lifelines. You'll need them when things go sideways. Have boundaries. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or sex being used as a weapon. You don't have to walk on eggshells in your own home. You deserve peace too. And finally, don't let bitterness win. This part's hard because after what I went through, I wanted to hate every woman I saw. I wanted to believe love was fake, that marriage was a scam, that no one could be trusted. But holding on to that kind of anger is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It only eats you up from the inside. I'm not saying you have to be naive. Be cautious. Be discerning. But don't shut down your whole heart. Just protect it better next time. As for me, I'm slowly building again. I got my son every other week. We play basketball, go to museums, cook meals together, and I'm trying to show him what a man looks like who's been hurt but still chooses to love, who's been betrayed but still stands up with his head high. I'm not dating seriously right now. I don't have it in me yet. But when I do, I'll be looking at everything differently. She won't just be pretty or fun. She'll have to be honest, transparent, accountable. I won't compromise again. I won't ignore my gut. I've got a ways to go, but I can finally see the road ahead. If you read this and it resonates, I hope you share it. There's some young guy out there right now ignoring his instincts, getting pressured into marriage, being manipulated with guilt, thinking she's different. I want him to hear from someone who's been through hell and made it back with the scars to prove it. This is part 2 of my story. Maybe there'll be a part 3 someday when I meet someone worth building with again. But for now, I'm focused on healing, being the best father I can be, and warning the next man before he walks down a road that almost destroyed me. Thank you again for creating a space where we can share truth. Keep doing what you do. Hemp.
That is a horrible feeling. I already know, OP. I already know. I'm glad you move forward, man. I'm glad you have a plan and you're sticking to it. Don't sit and wallow and be sad and why'd she do this and why'd she do that, or be angry and hurt someone or something. Don't. You gotta move on. You gotta move on. And it's hard. I know from personal experience, it's hard to move on. It's hard to forget. It's hard. But I promise you, you're better off when you do. You're much better off. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you want to send in a story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That's truestorynation@gmail.com. I'll catch you guys at the next one.